Hello, friends and colleagues. It's Cicely here again. Allow me this morning to touch on anxiety and isolation during quarantine. We know we are having to isolate ourselves for 14 days, depending on the severity of the virus in our system. And that is causing a lot of anxiety, is the fact that we are having to isolate ourselves. Now, yesterday, we earned a ray of hope from our Prime Minister, who has recently recovered from COVID-19 himself. So he is actually speaking and dealing with things out of experience. He did mention that we seem to have come out of the peak of the crisis nationally. But that is not to say that we are not having to deal with the anxieties and the isolation and the loneliness that comes with that. And so the work of the mental health first aiders out there, whom I'm so impressed with, that they are using the skills that they learned through the mental health program to keep not only themselves well, but those around them in their neighborhood and their families too. So I'm going to share a few tips, most of which they are sharing out there to keep ourselves well during quarantine while dealing with isolation and anxieties that come with that. So number one, it is normal to feel sad, scared, and even fearful because of that experience. It's normal. So, by accepting that it is normal will help you reduce the anxieties that you have to contend with every day that you wake up. So, accept it as a normal thing until you are through it, or you are through your quarantine. Number two, be aware that there is a lot of information that is out there. You are receiving it from your mobile phones, from the TV, from the radio, and even from your friends. So be aware of that information, and only that is about COVID-19, and only select the information that is helpful. So either from your GP or from credible websites like World Health Organizations or from your employers. So be selective on the information that you receive. Number three, limit yourself to stress and fear by reducing the exposure that you are giving yourself to the news and the chaos of the world. So not always going to your, WhatsApp or other social media feeds or the TV, but keeping away from them in order to reduce the anxiety that they potentially bring to your life while you quarantine or in quarantine. Number four, do things that you've done in the past to deal with the crisis. We all know that difficulties or crises in life are inevitable, and at one time or another we have dealt with them and dealt with them well. So try to remember the mechanisms that you used and employ them at this moment or at this time you are dealing with the COVID-19 crisis. Number five is, if you are staying at home, of course you are quarantined. So wherever you are, try to stay away from unhealthy practices, for example, overeating, smoking, or drinking, and that will help you manage your well-being better. So stay away from unhealthy practices. And lastly, deal with your emotions in a healthy way. Emotions are normal at this time while you're quarantining, but deal with them in a healthy way. Those emotions, write them down, journal them. It's like you're pouring them somewhere to take them out of your system. And this will help you reduce the anxieties that you're having to contend with on an everyday basis. So friends, with those few tips, stay well, keep safe, engage with a mental health first aider that you know of, and will remain well. You'll come out of the quarantine with your well-being well in check. So bye for now until we meet again in a week's time. Cicely.